The Alberta Men's Survey was developed by over 50 men and 10 women concerned about men's well-being and the promotion of healthy, nonviolent relationships. On April 28, 2015, prior to launching the survey in the community, the survey leadership team convened for a full day of research training. This training was organized by the Faculty of Social Work, University of Calgary, in partnership with the Ethnocultural Council of Calgary, City of Edmonton Community Services, and the Alberta Father Involvement Initiative. 27 participants attended, including community members and organizations, agencies, funders, government representatives, academics, and students. The research training includes several modules, one of which is presented here. The purpose of this research training was to prepare the leadership team and research assistants to implement the Alberta Men's Survey and to also develop a community-friendly research teaching series that can be used by others. We would like to extend our appreciation to the Ethnocultural Council of Calgary and the United Way of Calgary and Area for making this video series possible.
So we have two learning objectives here this afternoon. We want to increase our knowledge and understanding of developmental evaluation. We also want to share information with us as stakeholders. We all come from different walks of life, from Edmonton, and I know Edmonton and Calgary are well represented here. And I also know that the project site also extends to Strathcona, Fort Saskatchewan, Vermont, and where else again? I think this was I can remember right now. So we'll share information around the project sites and what we do, the objectives of this project. In 2008, there was a man, he's a researcher, academia, an institutional builder, and also independent, evaluation specialist. His name is Michael Patton, president of American Evaluation Association. So he came up with this definition of what is developmental evaluation. So he gave out this definition saying that it's a long-term partner relationship. And I remember when Rebecca was doing her presentation saying that we're doing what we call a longitudinal survey over a period of time. And that's where you see this partner relationship between evaluators and for us who are engaged in initiatives and development. So we're going to be asking questions, evaluative questions, gathering information, and also providing feedback and decision making, like I said before, the reason why we do that, and corrections, along the path. And one good thing I want to probably mention is the distinction between participatory evaluation and developmental evaluation is that participatory evaluation is a distinction, in approach of the things we want to do. But for developmental evaluation, it's a distinction in a process. And so most of the things in participatory evaluation that consist of both summative and also formative evaluation are things that we take into developmental evaluation. So we're looking at conceptualizing our ideas. So we've all come here as stakeholders and we're brainstorming and we're sitting down and saying, what are those things, that we want to do to help men to build, healthy relationship, those things we can do, support them with things that, they feel strongly about, that we can help to shape, and build a particular relationship in preventing domestic violence. We want to adapt, whatever we want to conceptualize. We want to also collaborate. So our collaboration is going to be like, all of us are here now. And I know that we've been doing a lot of feedback, we've been doing a lot of emailing back and forth to say, oh, this is my input from here, this is my input from here. And we'll all do that. And at the end of the day, we'll come up with a decision and say, okay, what are the things that we think we need to do right now? And one good thing about developmental evaluation is not, like other forms of evaluation where we're looking at, how to come. I'm not looking at the outcomes for this particular project, for the ManSafe project. I'm looking, I'm working on the process of what this particular process will look like. So the outcome is one part of it, but I'm working on the process. And developmental evaluation is a process, it's an evaluation where the path and destination is not something, it's something that's actually evolving. Because as we go along, it will tell us and say, okay, are there things we're doing right, or there are things we need to improve upon? And it's a long-term thing that we're going to look into while we're doing that as well. So, developmental evaluation, is about innovations, actually. So we're all sitting down together for this particular group. We all have ideas. It's an initiative. The men, Edmonton, the Mansi from Calgary, we're all sitting down together and say, what are those things that we need to do? And funders are also here. I mean, the human rights is here, Calgary is also here, the city of Edmonton is also here. We're all putting resources together and say, how can we have this particular community? Because we know it's an issue, but it's not something we can do and say, okay, let's define our products. It's going to be evolving, the path and also the destination. I'm just going to play a very short video to give us an idea, in a community setting, how these things, takes place.
The problems facing our society, our economy, our environment need all sectors of our communities, all hands on deck, to figure out the best path forward. What we've been on the hunt for is people who see the world the same way we do, that it's a world of abundance and there's rivers of untapped talent. A common knowledge, we help local governments, businesses, foundations, excellent community organizations and collaboratives really connect with the latent talent that's there in every community. The insights we get are by partnering with leaders and emerging leaders in the community who help us together come up with the programs that reach their peers. We prototype, we iterate, we get the feedback, and we keep rolling it out. We co-create the programs that help double voting turnout, that help people get past the barriers to financial literacy, that help people get through the confusion on environmental literacy. We think about the ecosystem of successful social change and what are the conditions that need to be in place for those community members to come forth, connect, and be part of a coherent solution. Do people trust you? Can you discern their gifts that don't come in the form that most professionals are used to? Can you get in alignment at a heart level with people? When you do that, you will be amazed with what gets unleashed. The most exciting space right now are the projects that are taking the power of technology and the power of community and putting them together for real transformation. That's the space we're playing in.
So video is talking about the collaborative action taking place in this particular community setting. The way we're all seated here. At a larger conference, maybe one day, we bring something like this, that this particular video has just shown, to show us the path, and our destination in the company, supporting men and looking at some of those particular things they feel strongly about that can help them build a relationship with their partners. Like I mentioned before, there are a few differences between traditional form of evaluation and also developmental evaluation. So this is one of the differences that we have. DE is actually suited for adaptive learning. So which means for all of us in this particular project, there will be a point, and I know very well, it's going to be a learning time for us. Not all projects, that funders provide money for ended up saying, well, we have to probably implement this particular project. Some are for learning. We call it experimental learning. Say, look, we need to test and find out where we are. Also, it's going to provide, real-time feedback and generate learning to inform development. Like I asked the question before, saying that, why do we do what we do the evaluation? We want to actually make, informed decisions. We want to also generate knowledge and get feedback from the community. So like I said, all these things are things, that developmental evaluation, offers compared to the traditional form of evaluation. So the evaluator is actually deeply involved. So in my work experience, like I said, I have about 20 years work experience working internationally in Nigeria and also in North America here. I've always seen evaluation saying that you bring an external person to come and evaluate your program because they don't want a buyer to say, oh, why would you be asking somebody internally to come and do the evaluation for you? But here, the evaluator is part and parcel of that particular process. So I will be coming back, to some of you and be asking questions. I already sent an email, but I'm hopeful that by the time myself and the Lisa will finish developing the questions that we have, then I'll get back to you and let you know when and what time we are about you doing that particular interview. The evaluator's role goes beyond data collection analysis. So when the evaluator comes in, he's not only interested in what the analysis is, he wants to also find out deeper what are those things that comes out as emerging issues that we can take learning from. The evaluator also intervenes to shape the course of development, decision making, and also facilitate learning. In that video that you watched, at some point in time, we all sat down together talking about environmental literacy to come up with an action plan and say, these are the things we've learned in this project. And DE provides us, with that opportunity to look at the gaps. Sometimes a project, is emerging, and there are some things that we think we have done right, but we have not done them very well. DE gives us the opportunity to get feedback from those who have done something similar before, or from learned experience. And we can go back and say, let's go back and implement this and see if this is going to work with the project we have and the objectives that we have. I just brought this picture to give us an idea. I don't know how many of you relate very well to some of these things that we see here. So can somebody relate to what we have here? What is this? Do you remember this?
Record.
Anybody? That's a record. Yeah. And those days, I'm not sure, maybe, I guess I would have been born at that time when these things were around. But if not, I guess. But I saw this very well. No, this is a cassette, right? And we developed, we moved beyond that, and we came to here. So we have CDs now in our cars, and headphones and everything. And what we have today is Apple. We don't know where this, maybe Apple is going to be the end, but I know Apple is not going to be the end, right? Because every day there are social things, there are innovations that happen that we need to be cognizant about. So in this particular project, like I mentioned before, it's going to be evolving. The path and destination will be evolving as we go, and it will also shape our learning and also our decision making. And one very good thing about social innovators like you and I is that we're looking for change. We're agents of change. We're looking for changes either in practice, either in programs, either in resource allocation. Last Tuesday, was it Tuesday? Tuesday, the Conservative government came up with their budgets. I don't know if you remember that when the Minister for Finance and the Central Bank Governor came up with saying they had this budget, and after the budget presentation, we had some kind of comments from the community. And I remember very well when Aboriginal people came and said, oh, there was no much, budget, there's no more allocation to us in this year's budget. So what do you think you guys are doing? And that's how probably as social innovators will be thinking and say, are we actually putting money in the right, resource, in the right program that will give us the best outcome that we're looking for? And this is what developmental evaluation allows us to do. Like I mentioned before, there are differences between formative and summative evaluation. And this is what, so we look at an evaluation type, and we look at in what situation, what context do they actually happen. In summative evaluation, at the end of the program or initiative, we take key decisions about its future that are going to be made. In formative evaluation, what we do, we're fine-tuning a model to say, let's see, we used to have this framework before. But now, we're shifting. What is our theoretical framework for this new concept we're looking at? What data do we have to match up with what we have from research? In development evaluation, it works very well in a complex situation. I think I should have mentioned that before, earlier on, saying that it's not a situation where everything comes very easy. And like we're doing in this particular project, we're looking at domestic violence, family violence is a very big, it's a complex issue. Not only this particular group is working on that. On Tuesday also, I think on Tuesday, that was on Wednesday, I was also in another meeting with Lisa on another project, looking at something like this similar about women and immigrants women and immigrants children who come to Canada, the experiences and shape of domestic violence. So we are not, just doing this for doing sake. There's a reason why these things are happening. But we need to look at it in the context of research and also in practice as well. There is a purpose for developmental evaluation. The purpose are itemized here. It gives us feedback and generate learning to inform development. It's designed to capture system dynamics and surface innovative strategies and our ideas. And for those of us who have been following up with troves of emails from this project, I saw the emails from Dave yesterday, from Bino, about some of the ideas they're thinking and saying, oh, I think this is what we should do. I think this is what this project should look like. And I also saw another one from Vic this morning, or yesterday morning, saying that, oh, we've come a long way. And these are the things we think we should put in this particular project. So we need to be very, very focused. Rebecca mentioned also that any survey we're doing, we need to be very clear about our purpose. What is our purpose? What's the objective of doing this particular survey? For what reason? And who is our demographic? We're saying that men who are 18 years or above will be in our demographic. And in what way are we going to administer this survey? Survey monkey. We're also going to be using one-on-one interview. And these are some of the things, the tools that developmental evaluation also uses. So they use interview, they use questionnaires, they use observations as well. They also use focus group discussion to bring about, generate findings and also help us in learning and decision making. Well, now doing the research told me here, say, look, there's no particular criteria set for somebody to be an evaluator or to be a developmental evaluator. But there are a few things, skills that is expected that an evaluator should possess. And one of those things, you must be very strategic in your thinking. So we need to think strategically in our thinking. So as men and women who are here in this room, we all have strategies of what we think will probably work for us in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, 5 years down the road for us. You need to be a good facilitator. So somebody brought this meeting together today. So we're all doing this. We also need to be a good communicator. We need to also listen to people who you are doing this evaluation on. Be a leader, build relationship. And I think this has come up about 2-3 times today. I mentioned it in the morning. Michael mentioned it also. Even Rebecca saying that when we go to the community, we want to build that relationship. It's not only for today. We're all here today. I got to know Cam today through this collaboration. And I'm going to know some other people. I've been talking to Paul, and he's telling me a lot of things about his community. And I said, that's interesting. And that's why we are here. We can learn more about other people's culture. So there are 3 features. I'll probably just, not go too deep into this, but I think I've mentioned some of this before. The key features in development evaluation is that we are framing the issue from our own perspective. Yeah, I know my time is getting out. And we're also testing quick iteration, saying that as researchers, we're looking at things, that works and what are the things that are not working. And we're also going to track, the trajectory of innovation. We're going to be tracking and saying, along the line as we move, what are those things that we are doing that we think we're not doing very well? And what are the feedback we can also get from the community to help us shape our learning and practice as well? So How will this process begin? Like I said before, I've already sent out emails. Myself and Lisa, we are working on ethics. I've written, my questionnaire, and I've passed it through Lisa, I've passed it through Leslie, and we're hoping and sending this to ethics and see. So partners and stakeholders and funders on this project will be contacted, and interview days will be set up, and we'll be able to meet.